Most shows would start with one of those crazy questions like, hey, how do I get my products and services and the things I believe in out into the world more effectively, more efficiently, more so I make more money and I have more people that love me and I can retire with my Maserati and my big house in the mountains and all that great stuff? We disagree with that. That's not the right question. As renegades, you're looking at two right here, and we got a growing group of them. As renegades, we want to use this time with you today to provoke your thoughts, to engage your mind so that you, not us, can develop the solutions to your individual challenge and take some action today. That's our goal. We're going to help you figure out what that action should be. I'm Bob Graham. That's Tom Brush. This is today's Antidote.
Well, good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Tom. I think I nailed it today. That's the best I've done.
That was pretty good. The whole Maserati and that stuff was a little, I was like, where is he going with that? But I think it worked.
I like when we have where are you going with that? It makes me feel warm and fuzzy.
Very good. I like it.
I like the look that you give me when, I'm going off the rails, which brings us to today's topic, accountability, and why accountability is so important. So that we don't go off the rails unpredictably, correct? Or predictably, I guess.
Absolutely. I think that's that is the goal, that accountability helps you provide some level of predictability. Although, as a true renegade, some level of unpredictability, sorry,
no, I'm enjoying it,
can be valuable, as long as it's not reckless. I think that's when that's when accountability really can become important, is when we start to go off the rails and start to be a little reckless, that it can bring us back to where did we say we wanted to go? And I think that's an important piece of why accountability is so critical to help organizations and individuals move forward.
It's a shame, Tom, that we do this in the morning, because if we did it in the afternoon or evening, we could have a drinking game wrapped around the idea, how long will it be in each episode until you say the word reckless? Because you managed to get it in each time. And I'm not saying you're wrong. I think that is not alcohol, for the record. Better watch that. You look like you're having a margarita at 8 in the morning.
That's all right.
That's a renegade move.
No, that might be reckless.
Well, and the idea, and I'm making fun of it, but it's really important to get across the idea that being reckless, and that's everything from just making a snap decision without evaluating the factors surrounding it, to just doing something that's completely against brand or against what you believe in and all those things. And as the pressure mounts right now, I know I'm starting to see people who are considering reckless maneuvers. Their desperation drives people to do things they wouldn't do under normal circumstances. I've always said when I was teaching to students, your values are those things that you actually abide by when things are really dark. Values are not, I'll never do this. Values are, I'm confronted with a situation where I can do this, and I chose not to do it in spite of all the factors saying I could. And I think accountability helps keep us on that track of what we believe in, what we value, and what we're trying to achieve. And as renegades, we're looking for creative ideas. We're looking for innovative solutions. And we do run the risk of being reckless. Sure. That's why you say it every day.
Yeah. No, I think and I think one of the challenges is if we're not accountable to someone or something, it becomes very easy to become reckless, because you see some shiny object out there. You're like, wow, somebody else is doing that. I want to head in that direction. And then you see another one over here. Oh, I'm going to head over in that direction. So, whether you're accountable to a person or to your own goals. And I think that's one of the benefits of setting goals, is every time you start to feel like you're heading down, or, you'd be like, wait a minute, am I going in the right direction? Go back to your goals. What are the goals that you're trying to achieve? And if that shiny object isn't necessarily part of those goals, then you need to be accountable to those goals. And sometimes you need somebody else to help keep you accountable, or you just need your goals written out somewhere where you pull them out and say, oh yeah, that was important. And this is why that's important. And I need to head back in that direction.
Tom, sometimes we need to be accountable to someone else, or we always need to be accountable to someone else.
That's a good question. I think that's a personal thing. If you are really good at looking at your goals and action steps all the time, you might be able to be accountable to those goals. Some people can do that. I think that can be really hard. And other people need that person who stops back and says to them, hey, I see that you're going off track. I think the challenge is with people who don't have an individual to be accountable to, think they're on track, and can't see when maybe they have veered even just a little bit. That little difference can make all the difference in the world. If you're a star athlete and I'm a free throw shooter or a golfer, and I'm taking my club back, you always like to talk about golf. I'm taking my club back a little further, even a half an inch, can dramatically change what happens. And so even though I think I'm on goal, I might not be. And so someone else looking at me to say, yes, I think you think you're going towards your goals, but in reality, these actions are taking you a little bit away from them and causing you to think differently. So somebody who is really creative and thoughtful and can see the bigger, broader picture may be able to be accountable just to a set of goals. But I think it's hard because we can't always see everything that's happening around us from a different perspective.
I'm going to respectfully disagree and say that we always need someone else to help us be accountable. Because, and I should say good morning to Tim. I see Tim's on. We haven't seen Tim for a couple of days, so it's great to see him back. I think the thing that we're looking for is we can let ourselves off the hook so easily. We can make excuses. We can, I'm too tired to get up and exercise today. The stock market was really bad and people weren't going to return my calls today. The weather is really bad. My kids are making noise. Whatever it is, we can always easily find excuses. And when we do that with ourselves, we're so much more forgiving as individuals than we are when another person enters into that discussion. Tim says it really well, of course. You cannot be objective regarding your own progress. And I think that's really what accountability does for us at the end of the day, is give someone who can be more objective in how we look at things. Because I could tell you, Tom, I'm having a great day today. Came up with this, we're doing this, blah, blah. But you'd go, well, wait a second, Bob, that's great, but did it achieve the goals we have for this time together? Did we execute what we did? Well, actually, no, Tom. Oh, okay. And then that recalibrates, right? I go back to the airplane on autopilot. 95% of the time, it's course correcting. We aren't real good at course correcting on our own.
No,
we spin our wheels, we fly in whichever direction the wind takes us. When we have someone else, I think it keeps us closer to that straight and narrow, and we stop making diversions more quickly. We're all going to do it. But if I say to you at the end of the day today, Tom, here's my goal for today. I'm going to make X number of calls. At the end of the day, you can say to me, Bob, did you make those calls? And I can report back to you objectively, I made 7 of the 20. And you go, oh, what happened? Not, how dare you? You're a loser. You stink. Right. I can't believe you're so bad. But just what happened? When you ask me that question, what happened? That's when I have to account to myself. You're just a mirror. I mean, that's the other thing I think about accountability is we're just holding up a mirror and saying, hey, you told me this was important. I'm just reminding you of that.
Yeah. And I think, one of the things you touched on a little bit is, and you didn't exactly say it this way, but emotion. And emotion can get in the way of being held accountable. You think, oh yeah, I did great, or I'm feeling great. Or on the other side, which is usually I'm stuck. I'm confused. I'm overwhelmed. I can't figure out how to keep moving. Even though I think I'm okay, I'm really not. And I just don't want to admit that to anyone else. And sometimes I think that's where the accountability person can, if you have the appropriate relationship, call someone out on their BS, which is like, yeah, you're saying this is the case, but you're really not displaying that. And so having that objective opinion is right. I think that it's extremely difficult. So yes, you are probably right.
Best moment ever.
Although I will say that I think there might be some people who can be. I'm not gonna eliminate the possibility that somebody couldn't keep themselves accountable and be really good at that.
I'm not saying people can't be accountable to themselves for certain things. There are plenty of people eating a good diet, getting up and exercising, those things. That's the thing. But I think what happens is most of those things that people can be accountable to themselves for, I find are discrete and very concrete. But so losing 20 pounds, you can manage that a bit on your own, probably better than I want to grow my business to be $1 million business. There are a lot of steps along the way there, and that's really hard to keep track of. And that's also such a lofty goal that you're going to have moments of fear, of frustration, of despair. And that's part of what accountability does as well. That accountability person's the one to say to you, when you think it's all done, hey, wait, whoa. You're doing really great here. You know, we think of accountability as, oh, I didn't meet the bar. But often accountability is the person saying, okay, so you didn't meet the goal that you had for today. You didn't make the 20 calls. Tell me about the 7 calls. Oh, I had 7 great discussions. I picked up 5 clients today. Whoa, time out. The goal of the 20 was to get to 3. You just told me you picked up more than 3. We've got to go back and look. We've missed the real goal got lost because the intermediate goal became more important. And I see that when I coach a lot. It's like, whoa, time out.
It's all about how far is what is the real goal?
Right.
Real goal, the action step that you were taking was, I was going to make 20 calls. Because if I make 20 calls, I believe I am going to achieve what I want to achieve. And so being accountable to what the real goal is, and sometimes we do get lost in the action items to help us get there. And like, well, I got to make 20. Doesn't matter whether they're good, bad, or different. I just have to call 20 people. Whether they're your perfect prospect or not, or ideal client, that's not going to be helpful. But like you said, if you have 7 really good conversations and 5 of them turn into clients, and ultimately that's what it is how many clients do you have? And maybe ultimately is what are the level of those clients? So it's one thing if you say, okay, you get your lowest level, entry level clients. Is that really the goal?
Right.
You know, I think that's the important part of really being able to realize what is it you want to be held accountable to. That is the most important thing to help move your organization forward. You know, that's what we talked about to-do lists a while ago, but it's like to-do lists. If I'm accountable to that, well, if on my to-do list is, well, I got to answer these 3 emails and I got a voicemail I have to return. And yeah, I crossed those things off, but they didn't really help me move forward my organization or myself. Maybe I'm being held accountable I'm holding myself accountable to the wrong things.
Right. Or as Tim puts in his comment, if the 6th call resulted in a $15,000 contract, then you've achieved your goal, getting new business. That the 20 calls represented. Goals need to be flexible. And I think he says it really well. And sometimes when we're being accountable to just ourselves, we get fixated on the number, not the true result.
Yeah. Well, I think the other thing with that too, the interesting with that is, what is the goal getting new business? And is that, you know, we're getting into goal setting here, but is that...
Well, it's related to accountability.
Right. Is that clear enough, getting new business? Because you can get new business. I can go out and sign up. Oh my gosh.
Bless you. That was fun.
Tried so hard not to sneeze. Sorry about that.
Apparently the 6 feet distancing's not enough in this case.
No, just change of atmosphere. Now I'm back in my office. So
right. I missed the milk jug sign.
I know. But if we're not super clear on what new business means,
right?
So Tim has a great point. He's absolutely right. The question is new business, maybe for someone really new business was, I needed to get to 50,000. And
right.
So 15 is great, but it's not helping me achieve my goal. And I'm not satisfied in meeting a goal that's not clearly specific.
Yep. So Tom, give me, Tim just said, explain that sneeze, LOL.
Yeah, no, it was a little dusty and something got in my nose. And
it happens. I've got allergies every morning and I fear sneezing. So Tom, I think it's your turn today. It's Tuesday and I'm trying to ping pong back and forth. What's your antidote for today? That one little thing that you can do that someone could consider doing that might help them with this whole idea of accountability.
Yeah, I think it's because we were talking a lot about why is it important. I think if it's that important, go out and find someone to help keep you accountable. That's, I think, the big piece. And I think we're going to talk about that tomorrow or the next day. But who is the person that you really trust? Identify who that person is who's really looking out for your best interests to help you achieve your goals. And find out who that person is who can help keep you accountable.
And I'm going to add to that and do a little promo all at the same time, which is if you're looking for the kind of people that will keep you accountable in positive ways, in ways that will help you achieve your goals as we move forward in these difficult circumstances, then you might want to join our Ring of Renegades on Facebook, a Facebook group where we are gathering people who are looking for the solutions, who are looking for the opportunities. And the accountability partners you can find in that group are going to be a whole lot more inclined to help you get where you're going and not let you fall into the trap of the pity party. I was working with a client a couple of months ago and they said to me, you never let me go down the path of frustration and annoyance for very long. And I said, no, because that doesn't take you where you need to go. And we're growing that group of people in that Facebook group, Ring of Renegades. And that group is where you can find those people who are going to find the solutions, who are going to hold you accountable. If you post something in that group, they're going to check on you. They're going to ask you. They're going to support you. They're going to help you. So if that's something that's of interest to you, find that accountability partner in your world. If you can't find them in your world, find them in our world, the Ring of Renegades on Facebook. So with that, Tom, we'll close another edition of today's Antidote. We will be back tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Until then, I'm Bob Graham. That's Tom Brush. Have a great day, everyone.
Have a great day, everybody.